Good morning. Happy Thursday. It's the last day of April, April 30th. So good morning. I'm happy you're here. Those of you that are here today live with me. Today's class is I saw this picture the other day, and so this is where I'm at today. So and this was the picture. I posted it in the chat. And it says, sometimes you have to let go of the picture of what you thought life would be like and learn to find joy in the story you're living. And so that's kind of our theme for this morning, the story that we're living. What is that story going to be? And realizing that every day, we have a choice in what that story is going to be. So what story will you write today? So in the playlist link is there. It's mostly instrumental songs, but there's one song that's all about writing your own story. So that's our flow for this morning. I hope everyone is well. We are surviving, and maybe some of us are thriving, and maybe some of us are just surviving, right? So making a choice. What are we going to choose for today? And how are we going to make those choices? And I saw a beautiful quote the other day. I think it was by Eckhart Tolle, and he was saying that every day, when one of the most beautiful things about being human on this earth is that when we wake up, we can choose. We have choices. We can choose how our day is going to go. And maybe we don't get to choose like what the actual activities of our day are, but we have a choice about our attitude in those days. So we can make a choice. Is today going to be a horrible day? Is today going to be an awesome day? We get to make that choice every single day. And so just something to think about as we flow today. What is our story going to be? What choices do we make as the authors of this story? So we're going to start standing today. So standing tall in mountain Tadasana with our feet hip distance apart. I'm going to adjust the camera a little bit so you can see me. Maybe not that much. Just see the yoga mat. Okay. Puppy is here with me, crashed out on the floor. All right, so with our feet hip distance apart, our toes and knees pointing forward. Taking a moment to just roll our shoulders away, back and down a few times, feeling that roll through our shoulders, and maybe noticing if we've been spending a lot of time sitting at a computer here, that we really want to open up through the lungs, open up our chest, roll the shoulders back. So feeling that expression as we roll open, and then taking it in the reverse, rolling up and down and over. Rolling through our shoulders. And closing our eyes, letting our shoulders relax. And maybe taking some shrugs, lifting our shoulders up to our ears, exhaling as we press them down to the floor. How high can we bring them up? How low can we bring them down? And then bringing one hand to our hearts and one hand to our belly. Closing our eyes and finding a 3-part breath. Inhaling into the deepest lobes, the lower lobes of the lungs. And then the upper lobes of the lungs. And then any space that's left over in the lungs. And we cram a little more air in there, and then exhaling as we let that all out. Noticing how we're feeling, paying attention, bringing awareness to our breath. Using our exhale to let go of expectations. Let go of competition and judgment. And just move in a way, give ourselves permission to move in a way that feels good today. This is our yoga story this morning. Standing tall. And releasing our hands, we're going to open our feet wide along the long edge of our mat or towel, turning our toes out, and taking a big breath in, inhaling as we reach up, knees over toes, exhaling as we come down, moving into a moonflower. And we're going to change our moonflower today. So we're going to reach our left hand up and over to the side and grab a star and bring it back down. Or grab something else. Maybe we're grabbing the attitude of our day or the words that we need to get through our day. Making some lateral flexion through the side. So our legs and upper body are moving to moonflower, but our arm and shoulder is adding that lateral flexion piece. So inhaling up, exhaling down. I had that backwards. Taking one more flow on either side of the body. And then bringing both arms up. Sinking down and opening our palms up, finding goddess pose. Taking a moment, and we're just going to rock side to side. Shifting through our feet, maybe lifting our toes up. Extending our knees. We're keeping our hips low, so feeling that bounce. Taking a big inhale. Exhaling as we come all the way up, 5-pointed star. Taking an inhale here, and then hinging in our hips, softening our knees, coming into sunflower. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Flowing up and down. Paying attention to our breath. And letting go of any thoughts we're having about what's happening the rest of our day, just being here in the present moment right now. Taking one more breath here and bringing our arms down and then rolling our shoulders back. We're going to stay wide and just lunge side to side. And if that feels good, adding a twist, bringing our opposite shoulder towards our knee. Kind of making a figure 8 with our shoulders. Loosening up our spine, freeing up our back. Maybe our story isn't what we have wanted for ourselves during this quarantine. That's okay. Can we make a choice to change it? What actions can we take? Adding an arm circle as we reach down. Inhaling. Exhale up. What actions, what choices can we make today, this morning, as we write the story of our Thursday? Or whatever day. Coming back to center. And then walking our feet in. Bringing our hands feet hip distance apart. We're going to soften our knees. I'm going to turn sideways. Hinging at our hips, just slightly, pushing our hips back and our hands on our thighs. We're going to take our cat and cow here today. So arching the spine, inhaling up. Exhaling as we tuck the pelvis, pull through the belly button, round back. Standing cow and cat. Coming into our breath, noticing where do we feel any tension in our body? Can we release that? Can we let it go? Taking one more flow through cow and cat. And releasing our hands, taking a big inhale, sweeping back, straightening our knees, and exhaling as we sweep forward into a chair. So our chair flow is inverted today. Exhale, inhaling back, exhaling up. Building some heat in our legs and our arms. Taking one more flow, finding our chair, and then on our next inhale, coming into upright. Rolling our shoulders back. Noticing our heartbeat. If we close our eyes without touching our heart, can we feel our heartbeat? Can we feel our pulse? Can we come in that quietly to ourselves to notice our body? Taking a breath here, and then stepping to the top of our mat. We're taking a modified sun salutation. Feel free to add any variation of sun salutation that feels good today, but I'm going to modify. Inhaling as we come up, exhaling as we hinge at the hips, forward fold, and then stepping back with our right knee, planting it on the floor. Our hips are in between our knee and our knees. Inhaling up in a kneeling lunge. Exhaling down, bringing that left knee back, coming back into child's pose. Inhaling as we press into a kneeling plank. Exhaling as we lower down. We're only going to come halfway today, and then inhaling up into full cobra. Exhale back into child's pose. Drawing our breath in, bringing our right foot in. Exhaling as we lower the hips and finding our inhale, reaching up to the ceiling kneeling lunge. Exhaling down, tucking our left toe. Stepping in with that foot, placing our hands on our shins, coming halfway up. Exhale down, release, soften the knees. Inhale, circle, sweep our arms up. Exhaling into chair. Inhaling back up and exhale, forward fold. This time stepping back with the left foot. Planting that knee down, releasing our toe, inhaling up. Exhaling down, bringing the right foot back. Finding our child's pose. Inhaling into kneeling plank. Exhaling as we lower half down and then inhaling up into cobra. Exhale back to child's pose. Bringing our left foot forward. Dropping our hips down, inhaling as we reach up. Exhaling as we sweep down, tuck our right toe back, stepping in. Hands on our shins, coming halfway up into monkey. Exhale down, release, soften our knees, circle, sweep the arms up. Exhaling into chair. And inhaling as we come back into mountain, closing our eyes. Coming back into our heartbeat. Coming back into the present moment. Taking a breath, reaching our right hand up, inhaling as we extend through the side, some lateral flexion. Exhaling as we come down, switching sides. Really stretching out our side body today. Flowing side to side. Taking one more stretch through either side. I'm warm. I'm going to take my sweatshirt off. Flowing side to side, coming back into mountain. And we're going to start our warrior series, stepping back with our right foot, opening up our hips, and then sinking into our left knee. So finding an open hip somewhere in between our toes, and then bringing our hips forward. Inhaling as you reach up into warrior one. And we're going to flow our arms today. Taking a big inhale, sweeping the hands down, reaching forward, opening the lungs, opening our chest, our heart. Exhaling as we round the back. So we're doing a little bit of cat-cow spine. Arching, lifting, and exhaling as we round. Finding that open. Maybe it feels like a bird about to fly. Or we're reaching for something in front of us. And we can play with our arms a little bit, making figure eights if that feels good. Flowing our warrior one in a different way. Taking one more arch and round. And then inhaling back up to the ceiling, relaxing our shoulders, finding a strong warrior one. Imagining we're holding the book above our head, the book of our life. What story are we going to tell? What things are we going to overcome as we are the hero or heroine of our story? Inhaling as we open up our arms, turning our left foot, finding warrior two. So our feet are perpendicular to each other. If we drew a line, our heels should be connected in a nice straight line. Gazing over our forward arm, our knees still over our toe, our back leg straight. Maybe turning our palms up, reaching out, finding our book, and imagining we're a giant book that's pointed up, and it's lying on its spine. As we open the cover of the book, all the pages fold open. Flowing our arms, inhaling up, exhaling down. Taking one more flow up and down. Turning our palms back down and our back hand up. Inhaling as we come into side angle. Exhaling as we flow back, reverse warrior. Feeling the length through the side body. Coming through side angle and reverse warrior one more time. And then coming back as we inhale into warrior two, lifting our back heel and turning that palm up. Inhaling as we sweep overhead, coming down to the floor with our hands and stepping back with our front foot. So we're finding down dog, taking a moment, pedaling out our feet. Tucking my shirt. And choosing, if we like, to take any variation of a vinyasa flow here. We can move through plank, chaturanga, up dog, or cobra. Or we can come into child's pose. Taking a moment here. Pressing our ears between our elbows, lengthening through the upper back. Lengthening through our heels. Stepping in with our opposite foot. So whichever foot, I'm going to turn around, was in front of us before. We're keeping our back heel off the floor. Inhaling as we sweep up into a full crescent lunge. Whew. Finding our balance. Finding my balance. Maybe looking up to our hands if we feel like we have that balance today. Exhaling as we come to heart center. Bringing that back leg in, setting the heel down. And then sinking into our warrior one, bringing hands overhead. Inhaling as we flow down and open through the chest. Exhaling as we come forward, bringing our palms together, finding that same cat and cow-like movement of our spine. Opening up our hearts. Finding some new inspiration. Taking one more flow. Maybe we have butterfly wings. Inhaling up into our warrior one. And as we exhale, fanning out, turning our back foot perpendicular and finding warrior two. Bringing our palms up. The spine of our book is on the floor. Inhaling as we bring the cover of the book together and exhaling as we float it open. What story is on our heart today? One year, 5 years, 10 years from now, what will be the story of us during this quarantine? Finding our warrior two once again, and moving into a flow from side angle, inhaling forward, exhaling as we come back, reverse warrior. What tales will we tell? We stayed home and watched Netflix all day. We went to school for 3 hours. Or maybe a little bit more, or maybe a little bit less. Coming back into our breath. And returning to our warrior two, turning our back hand up, lifting that heel, inhaling as we sweep overhead, stepping back with our forward foot and finding down dog. And again, taking any variation of a vinyasa flow. So we could be on our knees, we could come through a modified half sun salutation. Returning to our down dog. My dog is down. He's not even down dog, he's just down. And bringing that opposite foot forward. Coming into our crescent lunge on this leg. Our back heel is off the floor. Finding that big breath in, looking up maybe to our hands. And then exhaling as we open up, dropping that heel and turning, finding our warrior two. Taking an inhale, reaching over our front foot and straightening that knee. Exhaling as we drop down into triangle. And today, looking up to the sky or to our hand, you keep this hand overhead, or maybe we want to bring it behind us. We want to feel that twist, that opening through our chest as we look up. Maybe closing our eyes. Muscles are engaging. Breathing in and out. On our next inhale, softening our knee, coming back to our warrior two. Stepping in with our back foot so that our toes and knees are pointed in the same direction. We're preparing to head into pyramid, making sure our hips are square forward with our toes. Inhaling up, turning our thumb down, exhaling as we bring our arms behind us. Interlocking our arms, or maybe making Anjali, palm to palm mudra in the back. Drawing a breath in as we arch the spine, looking up. Pulling in tight with our belly button. Exhaling as we hinge forward, bringing our nose toward our knee. Finding pyramid. The story of my day is I need a pedicure. I'm going to give myself a pedicure. Woo. Are our hips even, or have we opened up, making sure we stay square to our feet? As we exhale, can we release a little bit more, bringing our nose a little bit closer to that front leg, to that front knee. Softening that front knee, inhaling as we unhinge, coming back to upright. Releasing our arms, stepping back into mountain. Closing our eyes, bringing our hands to our heart. Noticing all the differences our body readjusts from our first inversion. Turning along the long edge of our mat and opening up our toes with our heels pointed towards each other and taking either a moonflower or a sunflower. Any variation that feels good in our body today. Where do we need some release? Where are we tight? Inhaling back up, and as we exhale, turning our feet, coming into warrior two on the opposite side. Extending that knee straight. Inhaling as we reach over that foot. Exhaling as we come down, finding our pyramid, and again, opening through our shoulder, looking up to the sky. We have that option with our arm, just making sure that our shoulders are stacked. We're finding that opening through our chest, that alignment through our upper body. Our hands, if we were to draw a line, would be in a nice straight line, all the way down. Maybe as we exhale, we can hinge a little bit forward, using the back of our hand against our leg to open up our chest a little bit more. Taking one more breath here, softening the knee as we unhinge back to warrior two. And then stepping in with our back foot, toes and knees pointing the same way. A little bit of space in between them. Drawing a breath in, turning our hands toward the back of the room and exhaling as we bring the arms behind us. Preparing for our pyramid. Inhaling as we arch up, pulling in through the belly button. Exhaling as we hinge at the hips, belly buttons in tight. How big an arc can we draw with the top of our head as we come down? Exhaling a little bit deeper each time into our pyramid. Inhaling, exhaling, close our eyes and release. Can we come a little closer? Are our hips square toward our toes? Unhinging, inhale as we lift the crown of the head. Redraw that line as we come upright and release our arms, stepping back together, closing our eyes. Maybe bringing our hands to our heart and just letting them hang wherever it feels better. Letting our body readjust. Today for our balance poses, we're going to work on crane and dancer. So if you're feeling like you might be a little wobbly, maybe going near a wall or something where you can just have some kind of touchstone. Just an option. You don't need it, or you might need it. It's up to you. Giving yourself permission. We're going to bring our feet hip distance apart. I'm turned sideways, but you really want to be at the top of your mat or up against the wall if that's available to you, or a chair or something. Rolling our shoulders a few times, so taking big circles with our shoulders and feeling that squeeze of our shoulder blades against each vertebrae. Can we feel our shoulder blades slide down, vertebrae by vertebrae, as we come down our back? And then take the reverse, coming up through the vertebrae. So moving into crane, shifting our weight into the left leg and unweighting our right foot. Inhaling as we bring that right knee up, flexing the ankle and bringing the knee up. And we could stay here. If we need balance, we could grab that. Or we can find our wings for crane. Inhaling up. And just taking a moment, finding this balance. Imagine our foot rooting into the floor, giving us strength, growing deep roots so that we can be tall, majestic cranes. Whew, my root failed me there. Taking a breath in, inhaling as we extend that front foot, bring our hands together, palm to palm. Exhaling as we lower down, coming back to heart center. Closing our eyes. Letting our balance, our vestibular body, our proprioceptors readjust. Shifting into our right foot, unweighting our left leg, inhaling as we bring our knee up, flexing our foot, and then finding our wings, inhaling up. Maybe we're a crane, but maybe we're some other bird. What bird do we want to embody today in our story? I've been seeing eagles lately. I want to be an eagle. Long arms. Strong talons on our feet, holding us steady. Taking an inhale, bringing our hands overhead, extending that front foot, and exhaling as we bring it down, coming hip distance apart and closing our eyes. So we always have the option to go back into crane as we move into dancer. So we're inhaling, shifting into the left foot, inhaling, bringing that right knee up, finding our wings. And then as we exhale, bringing that knee behind us, grabbing either the inside or the outside of the ankle, and exhaling as we hinge forward. And with that back foot, we want to flex. Whoop, there's my balance. We want to flex the foot and push up to the ceiling. Finding our balance. And maybe today for me, I need to be here. or even in a crane. Talking isn't doing it for me while I try to hold a balance pose. Breathing in. Taking one more breath here, inhaling as we come to upright, exhaling as we release the foot. Bring our hands to heart center, finding that balance. Laughing at ourselves for our wobbles. Shifting our weight into our opposite leg and then unweighting. Beginning in crane, inhaling as we come up. And then exhaling as we begin to move that foot behind us. Working our way towards dancer on this side. Flexing through the back foot. Isn't it funny how one leg is always way more balanced? For me, one leg is always way more balanced than the other. Whew. Taking one more breath here. Inhaling as we come back to upright. Exhaling as we set the foot down. Bringing our hands to heart center. Taking a big breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Opening up along the long edge of our mat. With our toes turned out, taking a breath in. Pulling our belly button in tight and exhaling as we hinge forward. Finding a flat back, finding our airplane here today. So long, flat back as we reach out to the sides. We could also support our hands on the floor or on a block. Pulling in with our belly. We want this work in our core. And then shifting our weight forward into the front of our feet. Exhaling as we come all the way down. And maybe opening up the feet a little wider. And finding the place where we can hinge and just supporting our upper body, however far we can go. Maybe we can set the top of our head down on the floor. But if that doesn't feel good, just letting the arms rest, feeling that hang. How far down can we go? I got a dog in my way. And then walking our toes forward so our feet are parallel, walking ourselves over to the right leg, feeling that stretch through the side body, through the legs. Walking our hands back to center and over to the opposite side. And then coming back to center, walking our feet heel toe in until we can start to lower our hips and find the place where our hips can come down, our heels down, and we can come into goddess. And maybe we have lots of options. If we want to sit on something, we can. If we want to put something underneath our heels so they can be on the floor, we can. Finding that place where we can open up our hips, our heels are supporting us, and then lifting our crown as tall as we can go. Taking one more breath here, bringing our hands to the floor, and then unweighting one leg, coming down into a seated position, bringing our feet sole to sole, and making a diamond with our heels, knees, and hips. Stacking our vertebrae tall, inhaling up. Exhaling as we hinge forward, bringing our head towards our feet. Inhaling as we come back to upright. And then we're going to take any variation of a twist today that feels good. So maybe we want to bring one foot over the other and find our twist. We bring our opposite shoulder towards our knee, looking back. Or maybe we want to extend a leg, bring a knee in, and then hug the knee as we twist. So where can we feel that opening of the chest and that twist in the spine more? Which story of a twist do we want to choose today? Inhaling as we unwind back to center, and then setting up for the opposite leg. Unwinding back to center, extending both feet out, flexing through the heels, inhaling up, and exhaling as we hinge forward, wherever we can go, either grabbing our toes or placing our hands on our shins or our thighs, finding that big hinge. And then as we release, letting our neck and shoulders drop down. Feeling that strength, that lengthening to the back of the legs, through our calves, through our hamstrings, through our glutes, up and through our spine. Maybe balancing our legs as we come back up, relieving any tension there. Bringing our feet in front of us, hip distance apart, and rolling down onto our back. Walking our feet under our knees and tucking our hips, inhaling as we roll up into bridge. Feeling that work in our legs. Don't eat my hand. Don't eat my hand. Noticing where we feel this work happening. Is it in our glutes? Is it in our hamstrings? Is it in our quads? Is it in our bellies? And then if we feel it less in one place, can we engage in those muscles a little bit more so that we have equal work happening between our belly, our front of our legs, the back of our legs, and our glutes, our booty. Taking one more breath here, exhaling as we come down all the way to earth. Drawing our knees in and grabbing the backs of our thighs, flexing our feet up to the ceiling, finding dead bug and rocking side to side. If our hips can stay down and we want to reach up to our toes to find happy baby, we can do that. Or we can extend our legs long. Any variation that feels good, that feels like a good stretch, we want to work. This is all about stretch right now, release. Rocking gently. And then releasing our legs long. We're going to walk up onto our elbows. So our elbows are underneath our shoulders. Pointing our toes, our heels are down. And as we inhale, starting to creep our hips up onto our hands. So my hands are resting under my glutes. And then arching the head back, finding the place where the top of the head rests. And then pressing our shoulders away from our ears. So we're getting that big opening through our lungs and our heart. Fish pose. Gently lowering ourselves back down, releasing our elbows, releasing our hands, making any movements we need to make. Maybe we want to bring our knees into our chest and take a rock, or windshield wiper our legs a little bit, and then setting up for final relaxation in whatever pose feels good. Maybe we want to be in a restorative bridge with our feet wide and our knees together, or a supine butterfly with the soles of our feet together and our knees open up, or in Shavasana with our feet extended on the mat, toes out to the corners. Finding the place where we can surrender. Coming back into our breath. Noticing how we feel. Listening to the story of our heartbeat. We're taking a little bit longer Shavasana today, and I'm going to read a story. We select our own experiences. Thoughtfully selecting our experiences rather than grabbing indiscriminately at everything in reach. Don't limit your possibilities. Don't dilute yourself either. To experience everything at once is to experience nothing at all. Just because you can have 1,000 simultaneous thrills doesn't make it a fulfilling way to live. When we write our story, we choose the path. Give value to whatever we're doing by giving it sustained focus and care to it. Much of what makes anything in life good is our ability to invest ourselves in it. The quality of each experience is based not only on what we do, but also on what we refrain from doing. We have choice. Give each moment of our life the respect and love it deserves by not cramming it full of worthless rubble. Quantity becomes a burden if there's no quality in it. Say yes to the quality experience by saying no to all that would detract from it. Resist the urge to spread our limited time across every option. Step aside from the fear of missing out on this thing or that thing and give ourselves the joy of a focused and meaningful experience. Ralph Marston. As we bring our awareness back into our fingers and our toes, I'm waking us up today with a zephyr chime. They're made in France and they're quite lovely. Gently making our way onto one side. And when we're ready, if we choose, pressing ourselves up into a seated position, stacking our vertebrae, sitting tall. Taking a big breath in, reaching our hands up and overhead. And as we exhale, coming into our heart, bringing our palms to our heart. What is the story that our heart tells? What is the gift we want to share with others? Bringing the palms up to the sky, imagining we're holding a book in our hands. What is the story of our life today? What choices will we make to enhance our story, to make it better? Happy Thursday. Thank you for sharing class with me today.